Good afternoon, everyone. Wednesday afternoon on today, and let's see what we're going to talk about today. I think we're going to talk about abundance today, and I'm not necessarily talking about the good abundance. So, dictionary defines abundance as having a large quantity of something. Okay, so large quantity of something, which in some cases can be a good thing. It can be a good thing. But in other cases, having an overabundance can be a bad thing. A large quantity of something. So having an overabundance, or an abundance of something, I guess most people would say having an abundance of money is a good thing, as long as you know how to use it. Having an abundance of money is not good if all you do is just spend it on junk and don't use it for other things that are more important. Having abundance can be a good and a bad thing. Having an abundance of things like money, can be a good thing, but if you don't know how to invest your money, you don't know how to spend your money, you don't know how to save your money, then it's worthless having an abundance of money. Because there are people out there that say, well, if you got it, spend it. No, unfortunately, no. You got to know how to use it. Money is a good thing used in the correct manner. Money is necessary when used in the correct manner. Bible talks about the love of money, root of all evil. Yeah, I would agree with that. Again, an overabundance of money, meaning an overabundance of the need for money. So abundance is not just possessions, but also the word can be used for confidence. It could be used for all kinds of things, not just for physical things. We know a lot of people have an overabundance of clothes, or I say overabundance, but in reality, it's kind of like having an overabundance is, if abundance already means a large quantity, that means an overabundance is super large or just extraordinarily large. It's almost kind of it's almost kind of doesn't belong. But we know people have an abundance of clothes. They can't wear it all. They never wear the same outfit more than once. And again, if they have the financial means to do that, that's their business. That's fine. But a lot of times people who have that don't bother to give anything away either. And see, that's a waste. And that's where abundance, is not just a physical thing, but it's also a mindset. You want all that stuff, and you're not willing to give it away when you're either tired of wearing it or whatever. That's ridiculous. That's not something that's a good thing. Again, having abundance, again, can be good, but I think sometimes an abundance can be misused, can be misdirected. Confidence. Let's talk about confidence. Some people have an abundance of confidence, but with an abundance of confidence comes what's the word I'm looking for? With an abundance of confidence becomes cockiness. That's what I was looking for. An abundance of confidence can turn into cockiness. Or I guess in this case, it would be overabundance. Having confidence is not a bad thing. In fact, it's a good thing. But what happens is when you have an abundance of confidence and it spills over, then it turns into cockiness, and that's when it turns bad. That's when it turns bad. And this is where abundance, is not good. And again, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not quite, I'm not able to articulate it as well as I was thinking it in my head before I came on today. But as I sit and as I listen to people who have an abundance, again, it just seems to me that it turns into cockiness and being braggadocious, and it turns real ugly, because they've crossed that line. I think that people who have that mentality, they don't know how to handle abundance. So when they have abundance, they either become cocky or braggadocious because they've become overabundant, or they have the abundance and they end up misusing it, and then they turn out to have nothing. I think that's a better way of putting it. Okay? Because abundance is something that can be lost if not handled in the right way. For instance, our country has an abundance of not only natural resources, but of I don't want to say I have an abundance of money, because in reality we don't, because we're in a deficit, and we have debt. That's having debt is not that means that you don't have an abundance of whatever you owe that person. So for instance, if you are in debt financially, money wise, that means you don't have an abundance of money. You have you don't have an abundance at all, because you're in debt. That negates having an abundance. Okay. If you have low self-esteem, that means you don't have an abundance of confidence. Okay, that negates having an abundance of confidence, because you have a low self-esteem. And hence that you could use an abundance of confidence, because having a low self-esteem means you don't have much confidence, if any. So this country suffers from suffers from an abundance of opinion, but doesn't have a whole lot of facts or common sense to back up a lot of our policies or things that are coming from the top. So we don't have a lack of opinions, and we don't have a lack of I don't want to use the word confidence, but I'm trying to think of another word to describe how abundance correlates with what the government is doing. We have an abundance of paper money, which is what it is, but we don't have anything backing it up other than consumer confidence, which right now is not in abundance either. So because there's not an abundance of consumer confidence, hence the reason why we're having inflation and all these other things that are going on. The stock market is all about consumer confidence. So if there's no abundance of consumer confidence, hence the stock market's going to go down. Okay? Because it's the consumer that drives not only the stock market, but businesses and everything else, because people, when they have an abundance of confidence in businesses or in the dollar or anything like that, things go up. Okay? So, another instance. Argentina suffering from massive inflation. Venezuela, a lot of South American countries, because there's no confidence in their money, that the money suffers. Okay, money suffers, and hence inflation, and hence the money becomes worthless. So in Venezuela, they have high inflation, and basically, their money is worthless. So hence now they're taking the dollar, because their own money is worthless. You need too much money to be able to buy anything, so it's just easier to pay in dollars. Hence, there's no abundance and confidence in, Venezuelan currency. Same with Argentina. Okay. There's no abundance and confidence in the currency of Argentina. And I know I'm being simplistic, but I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to correlate this. And so it's one of those things where I find abundance really, you really are really kind of on edge with abundance. Because on one hand, it's a good thing, and on the other hand, it's not. And I think most people would want an abundance of money, but most people that want the abundance of money may not necessarily know how to spend, save, or invest that money. Hence, that abundance would turn bad. So it's it's one of those things where it's kind of a toss-up. And as you hear people speak, and they speak about their abundance, some people, when they speak about it, become cocky about it, and that's when it turns into a problem. And then they brag about their abundance. That's a problem, because as quickly or as quickly as you've earned or have received that abundance, is as quickly as it can be taken away or lost. And then people want to complain when they lose it, but yet you weren't humble about the abundance that you have. That's another key. When you have abundance, be humble about the abundance that you have, because again, you could lose it. You have to know how to deal with abundance. Abundance is real. Like I said, it's a real thin line between good and bad abundance. And really, abundance can kind of correlate with the person's personality and how they handle that abundance. Because if you're a humble person and you don't really brag about yourself, you're not cocky about what you have, you're thankful for what you have, then abundance can be a good thing, because you know how to handle it. But if you don't, and you're not humble about it, you don't have a problem telling people about the abundance you have. You brag about the abundance you have. You're cocky about it. That's where abundance turns bad. that's where abundance turns bad. Having an abundance of gas probably is a good thing because we all need gas. I'm sorry, a lot of us, the majority of us need gas to run our cars, stoves, whatever we use. So having an abundance of gas is a good thing. But the flip side of having an abundance is that, like any natural resource, it's not forever. It'll end. So in having an abundance of that, we have to know how to use that abundance so that we don't run ourselves out of that natural resource quicker than it will run out of. Everything that's a natural resource is going to run out eventually. Okay. So, for instance, gas. There's a limited supply of gas on the earth. And so, while we may have an abundance right now, it may not always be that way because people don't know how to use that abundance. Okay? Because gasoline, gas, oil is not a natural resource that is. I just had it in my head too. You know, it's not something that can. It's not something that can just, you know, continuously. Man, I can't think of the word. Golly. I just had it on the tip of my tongue too. It's not. You've got what you've got, and you've got what you got in the ground, and that's it. So it's not like solar where the sun's always going to be around for the most part, and it's renewable. That's what I was trying to think of. Thank you, Lord. Gasoline is not a renewable energy. It's a limited natural resource. Wind and solar are renewable energies because for the most part, you're always going to have either wind or solar, sometimes both, unless, of course, it's cloudy and whatnot. Okay. Okay. So, right now we have an abundance, but that's not going to always be the case. And so we have to know how to deal with abundance and not cross the line into losing that abundance, either, you know, losing that abundance, whether it be through cockiness, through braggadociousness, through, I probably made up that word, through, you know, whatever, not knowing how to handle it. So knowing how to handle abundance is necessary. Okay? Knowing how to emotionally and mentally deal with abundance is necessary. Even spiritually, for that matter. Okay? In dealing with abundance, you have to be humble. You have to respect the thing that you're having abundance of, and you have to not be cocky or braggadocious about it. You really have to know how to deal with it. And again, abundance isn't just about money or natural resources, but abundance can be something emotional or mental. Again, I used confidence. Okay, because people can have an abundance of confidence, but then they can also become overabundant. Okay, and people don't like people with overabundance of confidence because they end up being cocky about it, and people don't like cocky people. Okay, you know, and so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. And I know it's kind of like a short little thing, and I did wasn't able to convey it in a way that I really wanted to. For some reason, I'm just having a hard time finding the right words, but having abundance is in most cases is a good thing, because you never want to be short on things, especially money and resources and those type of things. You want to have abundance, okay? You want to have abundance so that you can not only do the things that you need to do, but that you can bless other people too. Okay? A lot of people who are rich, millionaires, billionaires, have charities. They give away things. Why? Because they have an abundance, and in most cases have an overabundance. And in so doing, they're able to give stuff away, whether they really want to or not. Whether they do it just for tax purposes is irrelevant. They're able to do that. Okay? They're able to create these charities and give away money and scholarships and all these other things. One, because they can write it off of their taxes, but two, because they have an abundance. And in a lot of cases, an overabundance. And so you always want to be able to handle abundance carefully and with respect, because it can get away from you and you can lose it. So abundance meaning a large quantity of something in the dictionary, a large quantity. Be careful how you deal with a large quantity of anything. Be real careful. Respect it. Be humble about it. And you'll be able to you'll be able to handle abundance much better. Much better. And if you have an abundance, don't be afraid of giving some of it away, because you can afford to do it. Having whatever abundance it is, don't be afraid of being able to give some of it away, like money or clothes or information or whatever it might be that you can bless somebody with. And if you have an abundance of it, then don't be afraid to give some of it away. Okay? Don't be afraid to give some of it away. Because you having an abundance and being blessed with it, you can bless somebody else. They can learn how to get abundance. So let's just be mindful of that as we see people with abundance, or if we have abundance ourselves. Let's be mindful of that. Let's be mindful. And I think we'll be better off. Well, that's it for today. I apologize, it didn't kind of come off the way I wanted to, but hopefully you got something out of it. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you got anything you want to say about abundance, leave a comment below. Share it with your friends. Again, I appreciate everybody that stops through. Every like, every comment, every subscriber. Appreciate all of you. Go visit my son's website, philmartin.org, and that's PHILL Martin, MARTIN.org. He's got a great website. Go visit it. Be blessed by it. And I will hopefully see you again on tomorrow. Lord say the same. We'll have something else to talk about. And I'll have something else to say. All right. God bless you.